Dang it, I messed up here. Hold on. Alright, so we plug so we plug 2 into here. We already took the integral, so let's see, we plug it 5 in here and okay, nice. Finally got what I want. Oh. I didn't see you there. I was just working on my homework and such. But hold on, let me just put this aside just for 1 second and just say, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to this is a different kind of video, since I kind of thought, usually you kind of think to yourself, oh, I must be here to watch another Q&A of his. No, I kind of thought, let's try a different type of video, and I kind of just wanted to start off. I guess start with the video by just talking about how college is for me so far. So let me just start with like the introduction, or I guess the preliminary. So I'm actually a sophomore in the University of North Carolina in Charlotte, and I'm currently in a math minor right now, and with an undeclared minor, and I'm still trying to think about what minor I wanted to, but that'll come eventually. So basically, I kind of just want to start with the video and just talk about how college is doing for me so far. Let's start with this first. So I don't necessarily would like to call it I guess stereotypical college fact. You would usually hear that mostly by the time they graduate high school, you would thought to yourself, oh, maybe they want to move into dorms, just have their own freedom, which I can see why. But where I live, it's like 10 miles away from school, so I usually drive to school, and I'm currently living at home right now. It's not that big of a deal for me, to be honest. I wouldn't really care less where I stay at, regardless, whether it be an apartment, dorm, or even my parents' house. It doesn't really bother me in the slightest. Anything's okay with me. So college is interesting in some sort of way. I'll start off with originally for my the first year I was at school, I was a computer science major, and boy, that took a turn for the worse after. Well, I wouldn't say that, because first semester I was there, it wasn't that bad. I mean, none of my professors weren't that bad at all to begin with, but I just had a tough time struggling with the computer science, I guess, understanding the concept of how it works exactly. So, and after the first semester started, I kind of had some friends that told me that their friends, or whatever, they heard from people saying they dropped out of the major after the first semester they were there because it was actually too difficult to understand, which I thought to myself, it is difficult, but I kind of want to give this shot. I want to give it another chance one more time. So I did part 2 of the introduction of it for the spring semester, and that was where the shit hit the fan. Oh boy, that semester was rough. I'm never doing that again. It just was a hard time for me to understand the material and all that stuff. And the professor I had, I'm not gonna say who she is, just personal reasons, but I'll just tell you, the professor's just awful. That professor was just awful. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot literally learn from what the professors taught us. And this professor actually just gave us notes, like papers, for every lecture we go through. I'm trying to imagine. So the classes that I had were like from Monday and Wednesdays at the time, and I want to say they're like about 3 to 4 pages of notes each day, each lecture we go to, and it's both like front side and back side, so there's a lot of content being covered. But it's crazy because there's like about over 100 students in the lecture, and there's actually 2 sessions. So I want to say her class she had to teach in total was about probably like 200 or more. So she's using up a lot of paper. And I was just like, man, you were killing trees. You not know how many trees you were killing at this point? But, you know, what can I say? That's just her. And I mean, my professor for my first semester that I took computer science, it was like all PowerPoints. It was all online notes, and it made sense in some sort of way. Because usually, for me, looking up stuff online notes, it kind of did help me a bit rather than writing itself. Now, this is where the funny thing changes. So, here, I'll tell you later about it, but let me finish what I was going to say. So, the second semester, it was kind of rough. So, let's see, I was in part 2 of computer science. I was in the calculus 2, which that was pretty easy. That was not a problem. I was in a linear matrices and linear algebra class, and although that class was easy to understand, there were some parts that it was kind of difficult for me to comprehend how exactly it is, because not only that class relies on just algebraic stuff, if you remember back from geometry, back in high school geometry, you have to write proofs of like stating how did they get to this statement. You have to prove why this statement's true. Yeah, that was some of the stuff that I'm at, and I am not good at that stuff at all. I have no logic to that. I'll just say that. I have none of that. But I ended up passing the class with a B, so I'm kind of surprised. There was that. I was in a sociology class. I just BS my way through that. That's not really a problem. Also made a low B. That was okay. And this most stressful thing throughout that semester was mostly just computer science, because I really could not keep up with the content, with whatever the professor was teaching, and it was just stressful, especially the labs. Oh my god, the labs. It was, where do I even begin? First of all, alright, so my labs were I think it was a morning lab, 8 a.m. specifically. So the TA that I had, well, basically the thing was that we had to like do our own labs, because usually when you're in college and you do labs, you're usually either with groups or partner up with a partner or whoever. But for this one, it's all individual stuff for me, and it was so difficult. Like, I don't want to really say it's a form of cheating, but I really could not keep up with what was going on. Like, literally, I really put effort into it. It just did not work out. So I had to like ask my friend to like send me a Google Drive of some of the labs that was done, completed, and I wouldn't necessarily say I copied it. Of course, when I ran my program, it worked, but I just changed my stuff up a bit, like variable-wise and stuff, and it kind of still worked out the way I wanted to, which it was still good. No. I hated that. I passed the class with a C, and I was like, you know what? I passed, I still got credit. But the problem was that because now I switched to a math major, part 2 of the computer science was needed. It was only part 1, so that was a bit of a waste. So far, it was only that. But yeah, that spring semester last year was just it was a pain in the ass to deal with. Oh my god. So moving on to my second year in college, my sophomore year. So right now I'm in a spring semester. It is currently the spring semester right now. 2017. Let's go back to the first semester, fall semester 2016. So at the time I was at 17 credits, and at first I thought to myself, oh, I'm actually gonna work hard this semester. It's like, I really think I'm motivated to do this. Yeah, it turns out I was just bluffing and no, it didn't go the way I planned after the semester finished. So the classes I was in at the time was, and at that time I had like literally just switched into a math major right now, because computer science, I was like, forget it, I'm never doing it again. And my classes I took was in the differential equations, calculus 3, I was in part 1 in Chinese, because originally computer science majors you didn't need a language, but since I switched to a math major, now you need a language to do so. I just picked Chinese since I'm Chinese. It was just easy. Well, I can't say it's easy, but I kind of know some of the stuff in some ways. I was in Chinese, I was in a liberal studies class, a Western history, And oh boy, I was in a physics with a lab, introduction to physics. It's like going back to computer science again. Oh my god. So calculus 3, let me just say, I actually enjoyed that class, but well, let's just say I passed with a C, but the problem was that I wasn't actually bad at the course. Like, I understood the concepts, everything, the concepts and everything, all the content and material taught in that class. It was so easy to understand for me. The problem was that we had these little take-home quizzes that our professor wants us to do, which, don't get me wrong, it actually did help, but I just wish the grading wasn't so strict, because those take-home quizzes we usually get, they're all like free response. So of course you would think to yourself, oh, free response, you can get partial credit for it. And that's what I thought to myself at first when we first got these. Unfortunately, one little mistake for anybody, if you make one little mistake, miscalculation, or just showing your work wrong, or just one little mistake, yeah, you get the whole thing wrong. That's it. You just get the whole thing wrong. Kind of a bit ridiculous, but I don't know why, but it's just I was kind of bummed out, but yeah. All right. And I was in the differential equations, so, and it was. Don't get me wrong, that class was actually super easy. It was so easy. Actually, it kind of takes you back to Calc 2. It kind of takes me back to Calc 2, which that class was easy to begin with, and regardless, it was like, that was great. And let me see what else. Okay, let's talk about physics. Oh my god, I can't stand it. I thought to myself, well, because I was trying to fulfill some general gen ed classes, and my advisor told me that I needed to like take a science course with a lab. So I thought to myself, ooh, why don't we try physics? Because that's got math in it. For a math major like myself, I just thought, let's just give it a shot. Why not? Yeah, that class has nothing to do with actual mathematics. Well, I mean, it kind of does, but it's more relies on your logical sense. It doesn't really like requires any algebraic stuff. Like, they give you this formula, they tell you to use it. No, you really have to think about how to use it, when to use it, and without even them telling you. And it was just brought up to a lot of confusion for me. And then it wasn't just me; there was a bunch of people as well. But when I did the physics lab, it was totally a completely different approach. You can actually just BS your way through that, and it was just easy. In fact, I passed the lab with an A because I just BS my way through it. There was no tests. I mean, there was a few quizzes, but then again, that was pretty self-explanatory because I already knew what it is and whatnot. But the physics lectures was totally different, and I really could not. Well, I mean, at least I tried my best, but I really just did not give a damn afterwards. I want to say, in the beginning of November, I stopped going to the lectures because, like I said, I just could not keep up. I really don't know what I'm doing in the class anymore. And I didn't even bother asking my friend for the notes. I was just like, you don't have to give me the notes. So I was like, forget it. I don't even care anymore about that class. Yet, by some miracle, I actually ended up passing the class with a C, which means I actually still got credit for me to fulfill my gen ed. I was like, yes. But and at the same time, I was like, never doing this again. We're gonna pick something. We're gonna pick another science course not relating to this. We'll do something else next time. I was like, freedom. Oh jeez, my god. And now moving on to the spring semester. So of course, well, today is actually the 22nd of January. So the spring semester just started. Not much has changed and stuff. And let's see, so far I'm in a Calculus 4 class, I'm in a Modern Algebra, I'm in Part 2 of a Chinese, and I am in another Liberal Arts Studies class, which is a, Global Connections in terms of Latin American relations. Which, that class is not so bad, but there's a bunch of work to do, which is pretty tedious in my opinion. Calc 4 is not so bad, my professor's slow in teaching, so, well, technically so far in the class, we're kind of just reviewing Calc 3 stuff. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just go on ahead and learn ahead of the materials myself. So I just moved on ahead without annoying because the stuff I already know is pretty self-explanatory. Like I know how to do this stuff. I already done enough practice with the past. We worked on this a lot, so, and I mean a lot. So I like basically just knew the stuff right out of hand like that. Modern algebra was, oof, I'm actually a little sketched out by that stuff. Again, takes you back to geometry proofs. Again, I'm not good with logical reasoning, so I'm going to have a hard time with this. Now, don't get me wrong, geometry was difficult, and I mean difficult to understand. Algebra was a little bit different, since you can actually like think to yourself how they get from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, even though you have to prove how they do it, but you can think ahead of times and just think, oh, this actually makes sense how you get from here to here to here to here to here. But sometimes they don't want you to take the shortcut, you know, you just gotta take the long ways out just so, well, first of all, this is a writing intensive course, so you can't really just sum up in like a few sentences. It's like, basically, since it's a writing intensive course, you pretty much just have to write an essay in a way. Not necessarily an essay, but it's more like paragraph summary of how they did this to this to this. And I mean, I'm not saying I don't enjoy the class. If anything, it sounds, I guess, intriguing, if I do want to say so myself. But first of all, I'm not even a good writer to begin with, so like I'm terrible at writing at all. And it's kind of ridiculous for me, and so that's pretty much sums up so far how the semester went. Pretty much I just described like how my experience in college, like academic wise, but I guess I should now talk about like social. I guess we're going back to first year. Of course, I didn't really know anybody, so, well, except that at the time of the computer science major, I did know a few of my friends back from high school, so I kind of hung out with them, just stuck around for a bit. Then I joined some club, like a Asian club organization, where I kind of did make some friends there for starters. I mean, it kind of went on and grew from there and so on. Second year didn't really change much, since at the time I was at 16 credits, and I really didn't go out much. I mean, like, I spent most of my times in the library just doing all my homework. I didn't really could do anything else otherwise in respect to that. But I legit tried to try my best trying to talk to more people, you know, make more friends. Moving on to second year of college. So I've had this friend, and then there's a few others as well. So at the time I was in a Calc 3 class, they were in a Calculus 1 class, and they actually knew from the start that I was actually terrific in math in general. So she kind of asked me to help her out with some of her homework. I was kind of flattered. She asked me. I was like, yeah, sure, definitely. I'd be obliged to help you out. It was actually kind of cool. It kind of felt great to actually tutor someone for something I wasn't good for. Back then, I usually don't tell my friends this. I don't think I told anybody this. Probably, I don't know, but I'll just say it out now. In the past, I was never good at math to begin with, especially for reading and writing, the English language, or English subject, not language, but subject. I was never good at both of those throughout elementary and middle school. So my parents ended up putting me in a private tutor for both of those, and boy, that changed a lot throughout the years. And when I first got private tutor for the English, it was back in 4th grade I was at. But the math, it was my first year of middle school, so 6th grade. So after 7 years almost 10 years with both of them, since they kind of helped me out along the way, it was, I don't regret anything about going there. Probably as a kid, of course, you'd be like, oh, this is boring, but trust me, it actually helps. It really helps. I'm not it really helps. I guess my parents do love me too much, but I ended up helping her throughout the entire semester, and it wasn't just her. I think there were a few others that I helped out along the way as well. It was I actually enjoyed the experience, and it still keep going. She's in Calc 2 right now, and then I have a few other friends that are in Calculus 1 right now, and they're asking me for help, and I was just, you know what, for once I actually feel like I'm useful, you know? Usually I'm like the person who don't really talk so much. But for real, like, since college is now going around for me, I just started, it's time to make a change, because high school I was kind of a bit of an asshole, so, and I really hated that image of myself at the time. When I looked at it a second glance, I was like, no, this is gotta stop. So college, I just wanted to make myself better, so it was great. It wasn't just that, and of course Chinese class, I want to say that was a big change in my life in college as well. It started off, I didn't really know anybody in the class, so I just was silent at the time. So, and it kind of happened around, I want to say, midway through the semester, and it was this was in October, I want to say. Yep, October. I had a friend, at the time I didn't really know him too well, but I sat next to him every day, but like I didn't start talking until like later. He kind of saw me, if you don't know, obviously everyone must know that I did the spicy ramen challenge, and at that point I was actually still editing the video. He actually glanced over and saw me trying to edit out the stuff. He's like, oh, you actually edit videos? And he's like, yeah, Sony Vegas Pro is actually interesting to work around with. So he kind of just saw like a frame of what I did, the spicy ramen challenge. He's like, you actually attempted it? He was like, yeah. I was like, I'm not scared. I would do it a second time if I want. But he was like, man, this guy is actually pretty cool. But it kind of just stopped from there, but we picked it up back like weeks later. This wasn't until there was another Asian organization. It was, I think, HSA, Hmong Student Association. There was a Halloween potluck going on, and coincidentally enough, I actually saw the same people that I see in Chinese class. So I thought, oh, they're actually here. Why don't I just actually talk to them? Because I didn't really know anybody around me at the time. Well, there were a few people I did know, but there wasn't too many. But when I saw them, I was like, oh, they're actually here for the thing. I should actually go say hi to them. So after a while, I was just, it wasn't really catching up. I was asking, so how's everybody doing? I'm just trying to tell them, get to know them a bit. They're trying to get to know me, and they're just interesting. Oh my god, I just love hanging out with those kids. Well, not really kids, but they're friends. I call them my kids since I watched them around too much. But those people are actually the same people you actually see in most of my vlogs. Paul, Olivia, and well, there's also Lily as well, and Freddie, Teely. There's more people, but it's mostly those guys. It's those guys that I hang out with most. They're like just the greatest people I've ever met. And there's other great friends that I had. Like, just shout outs to them too for helping me change my life as well. But I hang out with them. I feel like they kind of see me as like a part of their lives, like a best friend to them. I just feel grateful just meeting them. It's just the beauty of a thing, like a miracle, you know? Because this, of course, I was like a shy person at the time, very introverted, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time, because I thought I could fit in with people, but it didn't turn out the way that I thought it would. Those people actually do put a smile on my face, like every time I see their beautiful faces, like no doubt. Even though they like sometimes could trigger me or piss me off a few times, but I still love them regardless, like no matter what happens. But like also another thing, not only that the friends I made back in Chinese class, mostly the two of them, Paul, my kids, or my dongsangs in Korean, if you want to call them, like your little bro, little sis. Those two were the reasons why I started this YouTube channel to begin with. They kind of see myself vlogging, and at first I really did not have the courage to do it, even though I had this thought like I've been wanting to do it for so long, but it was just so far I'm just loving it. And like I would love to thank those two of them. Like I love them so much for just giving me all this support and trying to start this off. And it's not just those two. Everybody else that I hang out with, all my friends, they kind of support me doing this YouTube hobby. Like no matter what happens, I asked them like, have you seen any of my vlogs before? Which I don't like to be pushy and force them to like watch every single one. I was just curious. I'm like, I was just wondering like, what do you think of it so far? And it's just like they love it. We've seen every single video of it. I was like, I'm shocked, really. It was just amazing for me to hear those words. It's just like, wow, people really do think I am an interesting person to like hear what I have to say, you know, just see what's going on in my life and stuff. And it's just amazing. It's just really an amazing experience, let me tell you. I'm actually almost tearing up. But that just sums up, that pretty much just so far sums up my college experience. And I have no regrets. I enjoy it, and the experience is just awesome. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that little story that I told you guys. I'm actually like glad I talked to you guys about it, because just hearing my stories, and maybe I might do more of these one day, you never know. Hope you guys enjoyed that little video. So I have my social medias right here. You can follow me on both of them, Instagram and Twitter. Again, I say this all the time, I never use Twitter, but whatever. So just like, comment, subscribe if you want. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. These are actually fake glasses, by the way. If that pisses you off, I'm so sorry, but I just wear them for fashion and fun. Like, that's just me. Another fact. I wear fake glasses for fun, and it kind of does piss off some people. Boy, oh boy. Nice.